Hello guys, I'm Futureal. I stream 5 days a week over on twitch.tv/Futureal, and it's finally time to get into the Endgame builds from the Project Diablo 2 Season 6 beta servers. If you want to check out the starter builds, the early game builds, link will be in the description underneath. In this first clip that you're going to see here, we are going to start out with the Necromancer, and all the other characters will be coming after that. There's going to also be timestamps for that in the description underneath, so you can check out your favorite build and how you like it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and a subscribe, and don't forget to also leave your comment on how you like the format of this type of video that we're doing a little bit different than in the previous seasons. Until next time, take care, and I will see you guys soon. Alright, first build of the endgame category is right here. We are going to start with the Necromancer, 3 builds for each character. And the first one we are going to try is the Teeth, Bone Spear and Necromancer. Now, the gear isn't super tailored for this character because we simply don't have corruptions, so it's hard to go like super endgame. So therefore we put on like quite generic gear, so that the threshold for getting to the stage of the gameplay that you will see is not too high. Let's quickly go through the gear before we jump into the map. So we do have the new rune word, Asylum. We're running a Vamp Case, Leviathan. You can see we have put nothing in these sockets. We have a random string, Laying of Hands, and Gores. Character, CTA with Lidless, Enigma Shaco, 210 Amulet, Hardy Oak, Trangs, Wisp, Arax, SOJ, Waterwalks, Life and Mana, Small Charms, Torch Annie, and Poison and Bone Killers, and 1 Geeds. Pretty straightforward, no corruptions on anything. The gems in here, you see they even have attack speed on them. Nothing is like top optimized for the build, and that is by design, so that it doesn't seem unreachable for the average player to reach these gear levels. The build is as follows: maxed Teeth, Bone Armor, Bone Spear, Bone Spirit, 1 point Clay Golem, max Golem Mastery, and 1 point Blood Golem, and then you dump whatever remaining points you have in Clay Golem. So that's what we have. So let's go and see what we can do. So this is a 200% something tier 3 map, and you know, this seems fairly straightforward. We do have the build tailored for hardcore, of course, so we do have damage reduction, we do have block. So this seems pretty straightforward. We also, of course, we're lacking a few plus skills from corruption. That is obvious. So the build is going to be a little bit stronger than what you're seeing here, and that's okay. You can also see that you can perfectly fine do tier 3 maps without having to have the absolute top tier of these items. So yeah, this build is it was pretty strong on a budget. It was arguably the strongest of the Necromancer builds on a early game budget at level 80. So to see that this build is doing quite well at end game is also pretty reasonable. As I mentioned, the gear that we're using is very generic. I have not researched or min-maxed this character. And that's done by design, so that I'm not going to create a character that feels unobtainable for the majority of the average gamers that are going to check out my videos. But as you can see, we're dealing with everything. The golems are staying alive, haven't had to resummon them once. Mercenary is keeping himself alive as well. And we are just killing everything slow. Well, I wouldn't say it's slow, but it's steady. it's quite steady. It's not the craziest clear speed that I have seen in my life, but it's pretty steady across the map here. And you know, also we are doing solo maps. We're not intending to join any group runs. So we want these characters to be able to carry themselves most of the time. But I feel like that's as much as I need to test and show you guys this Teeth Necro. We can do a few seconds with Bone Spear if you want to see that. It's more for if you have like champion packs and stuff like that, that do demand a little bit higher damage. You can use this Bone Spear, and you also, of course, would use Bone Spirit on a single target. But I feel that is just fine. We don't need to do any more showcase of this DPS. It's a really, really nice build. So let's check out the next build. Alright, we have Respect. We have exactly the same gear, except that we have now put Infinity on the Mercenary, except for the Asylum that we had before. Very, very generic gear. We're running 75 FCR because we don't have Corruption, so we can't really get anywhere else. So Life and Mana on these Small Charms, Torch Annie, Geeds, and some Poison and Bone Skillers with the Call to Arms on swap. We have changed our build to the Corpse Explosion build. So we have Corpse Explosion maxed, same with Desecrate. We have maxed Amp, maxed Revive, maxed Golem Mastery, 1 Clay Golem and 1 Blood Golem. So we will summon 3 Clay Golems and 2 Blood Golems. And this is the same map that we had on the Teeth/Bone Spear Necro. I'm going to jump straight back in. Alright, so we are back. We have set up our buttons. We have resurrected some Moonlords, and we are going to jump into the same map that we had just before. So let's see how this goes. I haven't played this build in a minute, so we will see how we are doing. Can't be bothered with that one over there. And here we go. Enemies. It's obviously not the greatest place for this character, given that this is a lot of this is fire immune. But I feel like we're doing reasonable. I did forget to activate my Wisp. This is true. There we go. So the damage in this build is quite extraordinary. It takes a minute to get used to the rotation though. If you haven't... Oh, I was on the wrong button there. Yeah, you see there. My point exactly. It takes a minute to get used to the rotation, particularly if you haven't played this build for a while, or maybe even never. But the damage from this build is quite extraordinary. Obviously extremely strong when you have high density. Yeah, this map is not optimal at all, and that is actually kind of good. Because you can imagine how strong this is in a map that does not have fire immunes like we have here. It's actually an extremely strong build, this. See if we can pull together some more stuff. Here we go. Look at that. Just absolutely slays. Very, very, very strong build. I like this build a lot. And also, I'd like to echo what I said in the first little clip here that we had from the Teeth Bone Spear Necromancer. This is not optimized for this build whatsoever. This is like super generic gear. So if you go for this build and you try to specialize it for maximum damage, it's going to be quite a bit stronger than this, in addition to also having corruptions that we don't have. So that was that for Corpse Explosion. We're going to be back in a few seconds with the final Necromancer build. Alright, last Necromancer clip. We are doing a Elemental Summoner build. And we are using the same generic gear as before. We don't try to min-max so that it will be more relatable to everybody. And you try to tailor this to your budget if you want to try this build. So we have a CTA and lidless, exactly the same as you saw in the two other Necromancer builds. Enigma, Shaco, Tranks, Arachnids, SOJ, and Wisp with Summon Skillers. Of course, we have changed out the Poison and Bones. So let's see how this goes. We are in the same exact map as before. This seems to be working quite well, this. Just remember to debuff everything with lower res. And we're good. So yeah, as you can see, you can absolutely play a Elemental Summoner if you are interested in that. As you can see here, we don't even have the council members that are recommended. We're using Bloodlords and just regular skeleton summons right now, mages and the regular warriors. So yeah, pretty cool build. It is a summon build, so you know it's not going to fit for everybody, but a very nice build. I do like this quite a bit. It's very cool to have kind of like a new archetype of spell as well. Although I do have to mention that you do kind of get seizures from looking at all this fire here. So not for the faint of heart. But yeah, there we have it. Third and last Necromancer build. So I hope you enjoyed this video on the Endgame Necromancer for Project Diablo 2 Season 6. Thank you so much for watching the video, and stay tuned for the next video from the Endgame build series.